Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Latter Day Jeppy. Today, I wanted to talk about the recent occurrences of the LGBT community and the church. Again, I want to reiterate that this channel, my words are not associated or aren't doctrine. Aren't coming straight from the church. I have nothing to do with that. Don't think that my words are coming from the prophet, because they're not. It's just my interpretations, my thoughts, my feelings on certain topics. And today's topic is LGBT. I kind of had a video of this a couple years ago. I made a video of this, but I wanted to bring it up again since it's become a huge topic again. Due to the fact that Elder Holland gave a talk at BYU about defending marriage and the proper marriage of a man and woman. So my thoughts and feelings is that it's correct. We need to defend marriage of a man and a woman, because that's what's ordained of God. God has told us the way that it needs to be and how it should be. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not stating that if you are feeling those feelings, if you are gay, lesbian, whatever, that you're awful, you're a horrible human being, and you need to repent and change your ways. Okay? Don't get me wrong. It is a sin. It is that we've been told this. But you don't see us going out and killing, crucifying, and murdering people for sinning. Not what we do. We love people. That's what God tells us to do. He tells us the first great commandment is to love thy God. The second is like unto it, love thy neighbor like unto yourself, right? So why would we hate somebody for the way they feel? We don't. If you are an alcoholic, a porn addict, a drug addict, if you don't pay your tithing, whatever it might be, that sin, you masturbate, you watch porn, again, these things, we don't crucify you. We don't think of you any less of a human being because of this. It's a sin. Everybody has it. Everybody has their poison. Now, it's the way that we adapt with these addictions, these feelings, these sins. Everybody has them. Don't think that anybody ever thinks they're perfect, because we all have our sin. Now, it's the way that we feel with these. There's a man, a guy I met on my mission. We're gonna call him. We're gonna go back to the John thing, like I did with the other video about my mission stories. John, he was gay. He had sexual relationship or sexual feelings with men, and that was okay. We were okay with that. And the thing about it was, he knew that he needed to not act upon those feelings. It's okay to have them, just not to act upon them. And he knew this. He wasn't a member. He was wanting to be a member. He randomly showed up at church one day out of the blue, and was like, "Hey, missionaries, I want to be taught. I used to come to the church back when I lived with my stepdad, and I want you to teach me again, reteach me these things, and help me to be part of this church, because I was getting into a lot of things, and I believe this is the true church." And he goes on to state all these things, and he bluntly tells us, "I do have sexual feelings towards other men," and he states, "But I can put these feelings off, because eternity is a lot longer than this mortal life. And if I can just put those feelings off for this short time, my joy will be greater for eternity." That was his aspect. Wonderful, wonderful. Because that's the aspect we ought to have with all sin, right? If you're a porn addict, if you're an alcohol addict, a drug addict, whatever it might be, we've got to have this aspect that if we can put those feelings off, these desires, these earthly desires off for this short time here on earth, then how great is it going to be our joy in the eternities? You know, you know what I mean? I hope I'm explaining this well. He was a great teacher to me of that, um, of just the whole sin aspect, that we need to put these feelings off, these earthly desires, for this short period of time. Yes, and a lot of times there's a struggle, and a lot of us will mess up with whatever sin it might be, many times. But that's why Christ did the things he did. That's the reason why Christ came to this earth, was to make sure that when we do mess up, not if we mess up, but when we do mess up, we can turn to him. We can repent and become better. Because God knew we were going to mess up. He knew that we were going to have these desires, whatever they might be, right? So don't feel that if you have these feelings towards the same gender, that you are an outcast, because you're not. You're not. You're just like everybody else. You just love differently. That's it. You have these different feelings than others. That's it. You're no different than any other sinner, any other people on this huge, ginormous earth. We all sin. We all have our poison. I know for a fact I'm not perfect. I wet my pillow at night, repenting of my sins, trying to become better, failing absolutely the next day, and having to repent again, hoping to become better the next day. And as long as we desire these things, as long as we desire happiness and joy that God provides, then he will continue to help us to get through this mortal life, to get to the eternities, so we may have joy for eternity. So hopefully I explained it the way that I wanted it to. I would love to hear your comments, concerns. And again, I am not a voice for the church. I'm just a voice for myself. Hopefully I impact somebody so that they are, they don't feel too outcast. Because we are all sinners. We all sin and need to be better. Because earthly desires are real. It happens. There's a lot of different ones out there, but again, we're all God's children, and he loves us all equally, and we should love each other all equally, no matter what it might be: color of the skin, sexual feelings, any other sin it might be. We should all love each other for what it is. Christ, when he was here on this earth, he didn't hate anybody for their sin. When the harlot appeared to Christ or was drugged to Christ, and they asked him to judge her, what should we do with her? Christ didn't care, as long as she was going to turn from the sin, as long as she was wanting to be better. That's all he cared about, was if she was willing to be better. He always states, whenever he did a miracle, to go and sin no more after a miracle was committed. No, when a miracle was performed. That would be a better word than committed. Because you commit crimes, not miracles. I guess to the Jews, the Sadducees and Pharisees, I guess it kind of was a crime, depending on when he did it. But again, he stated, "Go and sin no more." Did they probably sin again? Yes, most definitely. But the statements were there that he's asked us to go and sin no more. He loves us all equally. It's amazing. It's great. Read the scriptures. Read the Bible. It's fantastic. It will enlighten your brain. It'll allow you to learn who God is, who Christ is, and allowing you to know the way he feels about you, the love that he has for you. It'll teach you who he was and how he acted here on this earth, that he was human, that he had feelings, that he had thoughts, that he had opinions of his own, but he tuned them all towards God to make sure everything was aligned with his will. And it was. He's a wonderful being. I wish I could see him today. Not as I am right now, because that would suck. I'd be in a lot of torment and pain because of my sin. Uh, but yeah, so hopefully this hit this topic for you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, again, leave them in the comments below. We love you. I love you. And I hope the rest of the church loves you, because that's what we're asked to do, is to love thy neighbor, right? And I don't judge on sin, I judge on how you treat me, and I'm going to treat you well until you treat me bad, because just how I am. I have a hard time. Probably shouldn't do that, but I have a hard time dealing with people that are rude to me or my family. But as long as you're not that, you could be anything else in the world. You could be an alien, and I'd still love you up until the point that you were a jerk to me or my family. But yeah, we again love you, or I love you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and continue reading your scriptures and saying your prayers. Goodbye.